Hello and welcome to the 21st Bo Cameronian Arts Awards on set. My name is Miriam and joining me today are Choy and Bryan from Will You Be My Witness by Lowercase Labs in collaboration with Kenny Shim Dance Collective. Welcome Choy, welcome Bryan. Thank you so much for joining me and congratulations on your nominations.
Thank you.
Yay.
I'd really like to start by asking perhaps Choy, how did this body of work come to be?
I'm from a theatre background, so I was very conscious that last year I wanted to explore movement and dance. Just wanted to combine both practices together. So I just had an idea of the theme that I wanted to explore. I was very clear that I wanted to tell the story through movement and dance. But then I'm not very equipped in a language of dance, so I knew very clearly I needed to work with someone. Then who's better than not Kenny Shim? Then I reached out to him because I've known of his work, I've seen of his work. Briefly worked together a long time ago, but I was an assistant stage manager, he was a choreographer. Then I was very clear I wanted to do it through contemporary dance movement. So I've spoken to him, told him about the theme, and then that's how it came together. I was very clear that I wanted to tell through the theatrical lens of technical work of things, through my practices, through our practices, and then together with the dancers. I think that's just how it started in the beginning.
Talk to us a little bit about this difference between dance and movement.
I think movement dance comes in different manner. I think there are different type of dance and also movement. I think specifically what we were exploring in Witness, very much rooted in contemporary movement. So it's less, most of the dancers that we had were trained in ballet as well, so you can see remnants of that in the work. Less improv-y, though the process was a little bit started from there as well. It was very much hard choreographed to the dot with the beats. So that was what we were exploring, specifically with the show. It wasn't traditional or whatever not. It wasn't cultural as well with the work that we do. So I think it was very much modern and contemporary. So the process of the creation of the work is rooted with my background in theatre. So in terms of the way that we devised the work, so it was very helpful to have Kenny in the process. So in a way, he translated some of my language to the dancers because I don't understand their language. So that was very helpful to have Kenny around. I think that process was very interesting to combine both practices. And I think a lot of my work is very visual driven, so I work with Bryan a lot. So he always the first few person that came to mind to work with. It's very easy to work with. He understands what I want. He's good at what he does. The show was very much rooted in that also. I think if we were to strip away the visual technical element of the work, I think it will be a very different show. So I think a lot of these different pieces come together, and I'm just glad that it worked together.
We'll come back a little bit into how the technical and the practice came together, but Choy, perhaps especially for audiences who perhaps couldn't watch the production, how did you come up with the title? Why Will You Be My Witness? Why a question? And what are we witnessing per se?
Last year I hit like a beautiful milestone on my own personal partnership relationship. Then it just got me thinking, can one go through life on their own, or must we have a partner to go through life together? My belief is that it'd be beautiful to experience life together with someone. So I wonder if whatever that we experience will go into thin air, our own memory, if there's no one that was there to witness it. Has it ever happened if it's not written down, like history and all? So I think it's a very beautiful thing when you ask someone, hey, can you be the witness of my life, all my achievements, all my ups and downs? So that's where it started, from that lens of, hey, having someone to be with me for a lifetime, hopefully, to witness my ups and downs. So then my presence on this earth means something. Because it's witnessed or hopefully written down or recorded or whatever not. And yeah, I think it's even more. That's why I chose the art form movement dance rather than through text. Sometimes when you look back certain memories, you don't really can hear anything, but you just see it. So I think that's why I chose dance itself. So I think that question is that. So yeah, I started from there, and then through the exploration, we zoom in to the word witness, like you say. So what does witness mean in this era? So you look at social media, the yearn of asking people to look at me, witness me. Yeah. So then we also explore that bit in the show. Yeah, though the starting point was about partnership, love. Yeah. So I think then we were just exploring different meaning of witness. In public space, private space, what does it mean to be seen in a space where there's a lot of people, right? I think it was just looking at that different entry point of what does witness mean. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It's a very beautiful way of placing that into the world to kind of take and receive. Perhaps before we go on further into the contents and stuff, Bryan, can you share with us a little bit about this collaboration that you've had with Choy? How has that grown over the years? And then of course go into more of the technical aspects of the production.
Yeah, we've collaborated in a handful of projects over the years, and I think how that's changed over the years is I think there's this trust that we've built over the years, and the trust as well as the openness to communicate and speak about the work, to disagree about the work, if that comes to that. For me, this is also, I mean, a point to also in my career to also think of myself and not just a designer, but also as to think about how I work as well. So I think as a collaborator, then it's also my responsibility to also think of the work, not just visually, but also beyond that. So let's say dramaturgically. And so in this collaboration, I was more assertive with my opinions and feedback and suggestions.
What is something that, Choy, earlier on you talked a little bit about how if it wasn't for some of these technical aspects coming in, the show would have taken on a different, would have emerged differently. What is something that perhaps could have happened differently or did happen differently because of Bryan's involvement in it? Is there like a moment that you could perhaps share?
For me, I think it was structurally the structure of the show. I don't remember what I wanted to do structurally, but I just knew that like our conversation changed a little bit structurally of the show. I think it's just how the show flow, less about the content. The best thing that you can ask for from a collaborator is that to go beyond than doing your work. I think the care that he has for the work, I think that's always very meaningful and important in any form of collaboration. I think of course there's also because we trust each other, we have worked together, so also there's that ability to be able to challenge the work. I think structurally, I think like he came in with that, he questioned in terms of certain structure to tell the story better, clearer. In a way we kind of section it into two parts. So I think that was very helpful. I think meaning to make certain choices to be a bit more intentional and meaningful from his lens. So I think that was very helpful. So
I think the process was, I think Choy prepared like a rough flow, structure, broad strokes. And where I came in was to kind of look at it from my lens and also to think about it, how else or how can we kind of look into the complexity of the subject matter, how can we explore other opportunities in subject matter, how can we kind of thicken the subject matter, and also to find that clarity and the specificity of the subject matter. So, and then with that lens, feedback, suggestions, questions, provocations on why this, why that. Would it be better this way, or what if you do it the other way? Just questions, some suggestions. And then from there, from broad strokes, can also develop like how the show looked visually.
maybe an example, a part of the piece where you felt very strongly about the way you responded to what was being created.
Because Choy also came out with like a mood board of sort of some of the visual elements that he would like to experiment with in this collaboration.
Yeah.
So what I did was just look at it and just figure and kind of think it through. Would it work? Does it work? And if it does, how would it work within the confines of context? Or how do we recontextualize the visual subject matter? I think one of the major segments, I guess, is one of the scenes where we play with a lot of shadows.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's my way of, I mean, those are just like new scenes of sorts that kind of, I think, complemented, and he put it, and it ended up in the final show, so that was great. Where the show, I mean, the segment is solely lights and shadows and dancers and bodies in space, but there's a juxtaposition between the physical proximity of the dancers and as well, and juxtaposed against the proximity of the shadows. So I guess it's, for me, that scene where I felt very strongly, and one of the scenes I'm very proud of. Yeah, because I think it added like a layer to the work.
Yeah, there's texture to what is being seen.
To the connection, so the complexity of human connection.
Yes.
And also sometimes you could be physically very close.
Yeah.
But emotionally, mentally, you're not. So I'm just playing that juxtaposition. So that scene is my contribution.
Thanks for sharing that, Bryan, on some of the things that you did contribute to this piece. Choy, I'd like to kind of just go a little bit about the negotiations that you yourself, as this piece was born from a very personal experience. What were some of the decisions, or how do you navigate the decisions of putting out the personal for something that a collective should receive or want to receive? What were some of the struggles, perhaps, of that full experience that you wanted to put out there?
I think starting will always be personal. I think we always, as artists, we should always have a specific point of view. Then afterwards, through the process, we deconstruct certain themes, we deconstruct the word itself, and then explore through different stage languages. So, Bryan will view it from his visual lens, and then Kenny will view it from movement together with the dancers. Then from there, then a lot of other things will then come up, right? In the beginning, I wasn't looking so much in terms of like eyes in public spaces or even social media, but that comes up a lot naturally. I think the beauty of any work, any collaboration, is to allow all these different point of views, right? So we had 6 dancers, 1 choreographer, 1 designer. So I think it's important that we take into this point of views into account, because they all have their own walk of life, right? I think that's why we kind of had that whole structural thing, because I'm greedy, I'm a maximalist. I want to put everything inside. We explore the work for a month plus. We want to do everything, we want to put everything inside. So I was coming from there. So then I wrote everything down. Okay, these are all the things we gotta see. We all work so hard. We come out together. So this must be inside in 90 minutes of the work. We had to let go certain things as much as I am attached to it, right? And then coming back to the core of the work. So I think that was very helpful, reminding exactly what was the perspective what is it that we really, really want to say with the work. So then just coming back to the core of the intention of the work. And then maybe certain things we'll explore next time. Maybe certain things we'll show next time. So I think that was how it is. And then I think my process has always been, the first month I think is just allowing different point of view and just explore. So I think then it's just negotiating. The negotiation comes from coming back to the core intention of the work, and then certain things just have to let go, as beautiful as I think it is. But it doesn't serve the work so much, I think, or maybe it's slowed down from like a narrative standpoint, and we gotta let it go. So I was like, okay, as much as I love this maybe monkey scene, it's like, okay, next time, or human evolution, wow, that would be so cool. But okay, maybe not. So next time, I don't know. Yeah.
What does the word witness now mean to you after this production, towards the end of this production?
Love and partnership. Yeah, having a witness in life, just like how you call for a witness in jury. It's the same thing. Yeah, so I think that is what the word means to me still now.
Thanks, Joy, for your answer. What about you, Brian?
I think it's similar to Choi, because I think being seen is like one of the basic needs of us being human. And I've kind of like different opinions about it still, but on one hand, it's very similar to Choi, where it's a basic need. It's always good to be perceived, but beyond being perceived, also to be understood, to be seen for what you truly are. But at the same time, on the other hand, I'm also thinking, but it's within the lens of more of a social media kind of lens, wherein like witness, but the act of witnessing to be seen, or does something happen, or does it truly happen if no one sees it, right? Then the question for me I have for the idea of witness is, does worth and value hinges on being seen? And then I have this kind of mixed thoughts about it, but it's something to explore. I mean, throughout life, I guess.
It's a lifelong exploration in that sense, right? You never kind of just settle. Witnessing can be meaningful in this period, but as you grow and relationships mature, that changes as well. So just to bring the conversation to an end, with both of you individually being in the industry for some time and growing in your individual practices, what are you looking forward to most in the years to come? What are you growing towards?
I think innovation is important, especially now. And in the things that I do, I always want to work with people from the different practices, industries, beyond just the art scene. I think I will always and I will continue to go that direction. People from different industry and bringing them into the art scene, to the work that we do in theatre, in dance, or even music. I think that's always fun because they have a different lens.
I look forward to more collaborations. Could be from different backgrounds, different approaches, different methodologies. Because I'm very greedy, so I look forward to collaborations where that allows me to explore my practice and to expand my practice even more. Like I would love to work on a show where I can work on the sound design, the music, for example.
Okay, wonderful. I look forward to seeing what the future has in store for both of you. Thank you so much once again for joining me, and congratulations in your nominations. And to the audiences tuning in, thank you so much. My name is Miriam, and I will catch you in the next session. Thank you.